Alright, we're going back in after a quick restart for points. One of the new guys messed up and actually sunk into Tallboy armor, and that 250 points was going to go absolutely nowhere. So, after a quick restart, we now have Heralds 2, it looks like. I actually was looking away and missed the map rotation. Yes, this is Heralds 2. Hopefully this time they get points correct. Looks like Dirt's going to be your shredder. He's calling out points right now, I would say. I would assume Reg is probably going to be the tall boy for Team A2 here. And new guy Luna is likely going to be the secondary tall boy, while Addicted probably takes Wretch, would be my guess. The other team is Camper, A1, who's back and playing again. Alt Crisis and Source. Not really sure who's going to be what over there, other than I would expect Camper to probably be Doc. And I'm not sure if the other three will switch up or not. It's possible A1 could go Sniper. He did used to snipe. If they do that, that would leave Alt Crisis and Source to handle LMG and Shotgun. I think that wouldn't be a bad fit. But we'll see. Oops, click the wrong button. We'll see how it plays out here. They spent kind of funky, but they're going to get points done here appropriately, long as he, spins on Reeker Utility right there. They're good, and Scavenge has begun. As I thought, Addicted is Wretch. Big Steve is going to be that secondary tall boy. That is a Quarantine skin, I can't say. I know Source runs the Quarantine skin too. That looks like Camper's Doc skin. I can definitely say Camper's probably Doc. I still don't know who their Walker is going to be over there. That's the skin that Nafi likes to run, but he's not actually in this game. Yep, other than Camper Doc, I'm just going to have to figure it out as we go. Looks like the cleaners are going to get the last couple seconds of Scavenge. Somebody's going to be late, though. This Carly looks like Sniper. I would assume that's probably A1. He is running up to that roof, probably looking for those last couple boxes. No, he's just chilling up there. He'd better watch it. Okay, now he's getting the boxes. Big Steve is going in for the first push. Addicted spawns, starting to get some acid in there. Reg is running in, taking on these three. A1 is still just chilling on that roof. He's got a propane, but he needs to get out of there. Unfortunately, the Shredder couldn't take advantage. Dirt spawns. It's a little bit far back, though. He's going to need some help getting in this far away. He's giving away his position a little bit right now, but... Oh, okay, they didn't see that. Nope, only one person saw that, actually. And he doesn't seem to have called it out. They're at least not looking in that direction. He's going to get a pull here. You got two of them. Little split strike pull. They still have that propane in the middle. The Sniper Carly's going to get hoarded with zombies if she keeps going that way. Tall boys are back in. Addicted's still getting puke from the rear. They haven't managed to pop her. Tall boys are beating them up in the middle of that common wave. And that's a down on Doc. That's a down on Camper right now. Walker's just stuck with an RPK. Likely not even many attachments, round one. That was a good pull to interrupt the res. Another puke. They're going to get pushed out of that corner side by the swarm, and they're going to have to move in. They waited for the ante to be off at least, so Doc's going to get up, heal herself, not an ante. Walker's also red right now. Addicted's throwing puke up in the air to rain it down on him, hopefully. Tall boys are headed back in. They might be going after Doc here. They are. They are staying on Doc. Reg came out like a bullet, just going straight for her. That seems to be the play right now. Yep, here Shredder's taking advantage of it too. This could be a third down on Doc. They are just hard up on Doc. That's going to be 3 downs now. Team A1's going to have to make some changes. They're going to have to start getting somebody else to go down on the cycle, or this is going to get real bad real fast, especially when Walker's the one picking Doc up. Doc does get a heal on herself, manages to get a heal on Walker as well. Dirt's trying to go back up top for the high pull. He's going to make it. We're going to have a down on Source this time. That's actually really good for Team A1. They needed Camper off that cycle. Looks to be that... Yep, I'd say A1 is probably that Carly. It looks to be Source's mom, I would say. So that would leave Alt Crisis as the Walker, I believe. And that would probably be why I don't know who's playing that Walker skin. Reg is back in, back on Doc. That's really not good. They're going to have to feed her meds. They're going to have to pre-nade some stuff. This is not looking good. If they get a full dead Doc at 3 minutes, they are not going to last very long after that. Big Steve's coming in for the hit. Oh, but he whiffs it. They do pick him up in acid, though, but then it's just free hits for the Bruiser. Does not get the full kill on Doc, though, but if she doesn't have meds, that's it. Oh, Reg whiffs the hit. But the acid gets Doc anyway. Nice bowling ball by Addicted right there. Dirt's going in for a pull. Manages to get Carly. No bonk, but he's going to go back out. He's going to live for another one. Tall boys are setting up again. They defibbed. Oh, and the pull just barely misses Doc. They have 2 unused pipe bombs at the top. Oh my goodness. Nice bonk. He did a little split pin action right there. That's going to get... Oh, that's going to get 2 downs, actually. 1 full dead, 1 down. Camper Doc is full dead, while Source Mom is on the ground from fall damage, and he's got the 2 remaining DPS up split. Although everyone is dead right now. They've got a second to res that if they can get to it. Big Steve's going to be the first one in, but even he can't make it in time. Alright, Red just spawned. He's going to start going. This is wave 3, so they're definitely going to fall here. It just depends on how long it's going to take for them to fall. Almost at 4 minutes. Dirt's going for a roundup pull. Can't see him in the smoke. Does manage to get one, though. Oh, they're corralled together. That's it. Oof. All that acid, all those shredder swipes and hits and everything in that one little pile just ended that stupid quick. Pretty solid round 1 by Team A2. It wasn't terrible by Team A1, although they definitely would have liked to have gotten Doc off that cycle a little quicker. They did manage to defib and keep her up for a while, but after that, somebody else just has to try to go down on purpose. But if not for that pull, maybe that's exactly what would have happened. Alright, we're going to take it over now to Team A1 for their written side. Here we're going to spectate Camper's POV, who I assume will probably play Shredder for him. Yep, he is. Now they got to make sure they don't mess up points, because they are not in the position to be able to restart if they were. So far, so good. Looks like Camper's walking them through it. 1 person left to sync and Reeker utility. And there you go, and then Camper's just going to finish off. Beautiful, easy. That's essentially how you want to do it. Alright, once he gets off his upgrade screen here, we'll see who's playing what for Team A1. It looks like you're going to have a Alt Crisis Wretch, A1 Classic Tallboy, and Source Crusher / Secondary Tallboy. I think that's a pretty good comp, to be honest. A1 used to play a lot of Tallboy. He learned from an extremely good Tallboy named Uncalled For, who I also learned a lot of things on when I was still playing on console. Uncalled used to be one of the most dangerous out there, along with others like Wolf, World, Regnir, of course. A couple other really good Tallboys back then. Justice used to play a really mean Tallboy. Their comp's going to be pretty decent here, but let's see how Team A2 does with the looting phase. It looks like we're going to have a Dirt Walker. That is definitely Dirt's Walker skin. It looks to be maybe an Addicted Mom. I think that's her mom's skin. It's kind of hard to see from here right now, this POV, unless Camper gives me a turnaround. There we go. We have Carly. That looks like Reg's Carly skin. And that would leave... Who am I missing? Well, that would leave Luna for Doc. Are they really having the new person play Doc? That would be interesting if that were the case. Maybe the new person is Mom and maybe Addicted is Doc? I don't know. We're going to have to see here. Walker does have a 249, though. Right off the bat, they're already doing a little bit better in the RNG section than Team A1 did with that RPK. Camper's going to go for a pull here. Nice turn. He got a 3 pull with a bonk and acid. And that crush on Doc, who is Addicted, is going to be really bad if no one can get this under control. They have to nade already. Oh, man, a little pixelation right there, but... And somehow the Walker ends up going down amidst all of that. Must have been just a lot of acid and a lot of focus placed on him after that Crusher grabbed Doc initially. Camper's going to try to go in from above again, see if he can do the same thing, because right now no one's watching for it, and he is going to get naded. That's 2 nades in 40 seconds. That might come back to haunt them. They do manage to take care of the Crusher with a taser real fast. Dirt goes ahead and gets the kill, I think, on it. That or it was Reg. Might have been Reg, actually. He's wielding an axe for a secondary. Mom does have an AA-12. I think that's the new guy, Luna, now. Doc appears to have a Super 90, something of that sort. They do have a Carly player who's sniping. Camper's going to get another nice pull here. Another corral of 3, and another nade goes out. That might have been even a double nade. It was so fast, I couldn't quite tell, but man, they're going to wish they had some of these back if they end up losing this round in sub 4 minutes. Who is... Let's see, it's Reg, it's Luna, it's Addicted Star. I don't know who's wielding that sniper over there. Be very interested to know when I see Carly go down. It's going to be another decent pull by Camper. He got 2 of them, not able to get a bonk here. But, oh, the fall damage is going to be enough on Mom. With that acid slowly getting closed on by Swarm, this is actually quite bad if they don't get to this quick. Source is still up. Alt has just spawned in, and there's a crush now on top of the diner. Dirt's taking care of it as fast as he can, but he gets popped by the wretch. That crusher's going to do massive trauma there on the Carly. And Dirt is hurt again. Their walker is red. Camper with the slow climb, though, but he's going to be able to get in here, at least get something. He will. The tentacle will do the down. And these tall boys are going to come in, and they are full health with the LMG on the ground. This could be bad. And now the crush and the wretch. This is not good. They do manage to get Walker up, though. He spreads himself out smartly to get cover on his team. Now they have Doc down on the long side of the semi. The rest of them, their health is okay now. That AS-12 is starting to shred those tall boys. Another good pull by Camper here. 3-stack pull. He's getting acid on the down. That's smart. That's going to delay the res here. They're going to have 2 people up unless they just stick it, which they do. They stick it in ante, so that Doc is going to go right back down. That might have been the play, though, just to get them a reproc of Inspiring, because they kind of needed it there. They're struggling a little bit here. Teammate 1 is really putting on the pressure on this Ridden side. They only got 59 seconds to go, though, so they got to keep this pressure up. Camper's going for a pull. No one's able to get the shot off, so he does get the pull and still manages to live a little. Spreads a little acid out. Managed to get Mom. The Doc is healing Walker. Now heals the Mom. The Doc's hurt herself. With only 40 seconds to go, I think they are now healthy enough. They're going to make it through this, but there were some times where I almost thought it could look the other way. They also used a lot of throwables, so unlikely that they're going to have a lot for next round, which is going to be a good thing for Team A1. They're going to at least be thankful for that. Doing the old wolf hold up here on the trailer now. Nobody's able to block that long section behind the shelter area because of the swarm, but it's not going to matter. There's only a few seconds left. Now it just depends on how many things they were able to save, but with all those nades going out so early, I'm not sure that they're going to have much. So all in all, pretty close round. I mean, teammate 2 definitely would have been able to survive another, I don't know, maybe 20 to 30 seconds, but a little bit difference of pressure at one of those points, or maybe they don't pick up that Doc and ante, which I still say was the smart play, and maybe it goes a different way. Map 2, it looks like we're going to have Herald's 1. I could tell from that little loading section right there. I could see the edge with the church there. Obviously a cleaner sided map. We're going to have to see how this goes for them. They're going to want to attempt to do a pretty solid outing here on this one. If they can get pulls like Camper was getting in that last game, if they can get tall boy pressure, especially with that crusher like they were getting in the last game, they could actually do it here. It's going to be a little harder to get crushers on this map, but not impossible either. Not impossible. They're probably going to shoot for something like anywhere between, I'd say, 4 and 5 minutes. Maybe even on the side of like 5:10, 5:15 could still be doable. It's after that where you start to get a little worried about if you're going to be able to match that, because sometimes going past that 5-minute mark can really depend on where the circle pushes you here on this map. If it leads you over towards these cars and the two barriers in the map over here by the gates, you don't really have to deal with too many of the common coming in, but if it leads you over here towards the street and the side where the common basically spawn at, and the only place that they can spawn at on this map, then it ends up being a rougher time for cleaner teams simply due to the fact that they get in so quick and they bog you down so fast. So it looks like they might go with monsters here. We'll see. Maybe not. I think they're deciding that right now. They've done regular points before then. Nope, they're going to go old school point strat, which, to be honest, I think is the better play on this map most times. This map's not as great for the common. They're just going to go probably extra Reeker defense for temp and Tallboy utility twice, I would assume. Or they might get one extra common and get maybe Reeker defense, but looks like they might get blighted here. There you go. I think that's pretty good for the downs. Somebody gets down, somebody gets hoarded, getting that extra acid on them. Oh, they actually go extra common here. Okay. They actually go extra common. They get the slow as well. That could work out well if their common are able to get in. Have to see how that goes and what they do with it. Scavenge is almost over. No matter what, Dirt's gonna... Well, no, I was going to say no matter what, he'd have a 249, but he's picked up an RPK, a blue one. Maybe it's got some decent enough attachments that he feels more solid with it. Camper's going to get a good pull here if he goes fast. He is. That RPK is in the middle of a reload, and that's the name of the RPK game, and that sets up a very nice double hit for that tall boy. And they are in acid, and we have 2 people at half health already, and 1 1/4. Source is just going to keep getting acid on him from his vantage point, which right now, I can't tell. I don't think it's behind a gate. I think he's actually up on the gas station. He is. I'm surprised they haven't tried to pop him just yet. As soon as Dirt gets up on a truck, that's probably what's going to be the first thing on the list. Another decent pull from Camper. A little roundup pull for 3 of them. Some acid on them. No bonk this time, but Source right now is uncontested getting acid on these cleaners. They need to do something about that wretch, especially when these common are now going to start getting in over here. They are getting the res. That was only wave 1, so not as brutal, but Camper's going up, trying to get maybe a high pull here if possible, if they stick around these trucks. Mom still with that AA-12. Carly has an axe as a secondary. Possibly some melee cards now. I think it's swinging a little faster than normal. Good pull. That was all 4. And that tall boy's going to act on that and get a quad. And another quad. That's 2 quads in less than 3 seconds. That is brutal damage. Their spawn timers are still going to be way too long right here to act on that afterwards. But man, that was a lot of damage. Wretch is going to be a little more aggressive here. He's puking at him from straight ahead. Got everybody, though, with that. Camper's going to go in and get another pull. He's going to get 2 of them here. No, only 1 of them here. Okay, I thought another one was still within range, but... their circle is looking okay-ish. It depends on where it goes after this, obviously, but it's going to be somewhere towards the middle of the map. It's not the worst. It's not the best. All boys are going in. Going to be leading the way here. Alt Crisis for his Shredder in a second. Source is back. Going to get some more acid. The 2 on the right here are headed right into a common bog. Camper does manage to get a pull into that Alt Crisis hit with the Ripper. And they are nading, they're double nading these common. What is going on over there? Somebody's freaking out. They're losing their minds having to nade these common. They're coming in so fast and getting so much value. And that new person, Big Steve, does go down. That's the mom down. Camper looks like he wants to go for the big pull, but unfortunately they're all spread far away from the sign at the moment. Not sure that's going to work. He might just want to go for a drop pull or something instead. The tall boys are going in. Wretch is jumping up on the fence, going to get some more acid. Camper's going to go in here. He's going to get a decent pull here. He's going to get at least 2 or 3 of them. He did get 3. That's another nade out. That's 3 or 4. That's... Oh, that was a barrel that time, I think. But 3 or 4 nades pre-3 minutes. I mean, that's what you want to shoot for. Coming up on this next wave is where you would hopefully be saving the grenades for. Wave 3 and past 5 minutes, but... Camper's going to go in to cover this down. Oh, they didn't go for it yet. Nobody heard that charge either. Oh, no, now Carly does know, and he's just going to nade him. So that's 4 nades now at least. 4 to 5 nades at about 3.5. That's another nade. That's 5 nades now. Do they have extra? I didn't get to see them drop, unfortunately, if they had some from the last round still, but hopefully that doesn't mean a surplus. They are right underneath that sign. Alt Crisis going in as that bruiser. Another nade to take him out when he was less than a quarter health. Camper does get stuck on the barrier for a second, but he will not manage to get that pull. It was just popped just in time. I'll tell you one thing, though. If they don't have any grenades left, they might not need the high pull at this point. If he just pulls them into common, along with his tall boys going in, like the one that got that quad hit earlier, that could be it. If he just were to do a drop pull here into these common, that would definitely be it. But they're just nading him. They waited. They heard that spawn. They naded it immediately. They are still getting wrecked by these common over here on this edge. I mean, this Carly's trying to chop them up, but oh, Camper's got to hurry though. Source is going to have to start playing it more aggressive here. Is Wretch. He's been doing a great job getting acid on him before now, and they just nade and pop the Shredder again. I almost feel like that was even too much to be a pre-nade. I think that was a nade meant for the wretch that ended up going wonky and ended up just getting the shredder at a beautiful moment because couldn't do anything. The moment he spawned, he's down. Oh, Camper's going to get this one, though. He is going to get the pull on 2 of them. They're going to take some fall damage here. Ambient Acid. That is almost a second down. The Tall Boys need to get in. The Wretch needs to start getting in. Everybody needs to start getting in, but so far it's just Acid, Acid. They are slowed in that swarm. Another down on Reg. Oh, Alt has gone Hawker trying to stop some of these downs, but they are on top of that Shredder. He does manage to get Acid in the circle, but this is going to be over 5 minutes, and it's likely going to be about 5.5, especially right now with this Wretch not pushing. Somebody should be yelling, Wretch push, and somebody should be yelling, look, Hawker. As good as Hawker can be, there's only a few times for it. Camper is going to get this pull, though. Will not get the bonk, but they're going to fall in swarm here. They're going to take massive damage. That's a down on Walker, and that's the last one. 523, I tell you what, for as healthy as they were there at about the 503 mark, that 523 is about as good of a time as you could ask for to end it quickly. If even just one of those cleaners had run off into the swarm at some point after that kill on the Shredder at about 503, they would have made it probably 535, 540 at least. Just living off Inspiring while their teammates go down to give them more temp health and reproc it. Now, like I said, you're not necessarily ecstatic about that time, but that is not an unbeatable time on this map by any means. By any means. I do sure hope that Alt Crisis here has life insurance coming in, because I do not see it yet on his Walker. I can't believe I missed that last round, but he is definitely going to want to have it. Yep, there we go. As Walker for this one, because Walker is a huge, huge target. Nope. I gotta switch over so I can see everything. I forgot almost. Alright, there we go. Now I can see everything. Team A2 is going to go ahead and spend points. Somebody's going to finish up Huss handling. Looks like Dirt's walking them through it right now. So far, no common yet, but I think he's, from what his mouse movements are doing, it's telling me that he's telling them to get 222 uncommon. So I would not be surprised if that's the play that's coming. And so far, that appears to be the play that's coming. Yep, Big Steve went ahead and finished up the last of his points. Yep, now he's asking them for infected wounds, most likely joggers. And then it just depends on what they want after that. They'll for sure probably get Reeker Temp Defense and Tallboy Stun Resist, but after that is the question mark of what you want to do with your points. Oh, they go attack speed. Not sure if that was a misclick or on purpose. I guess it was on purpose because I think Dirt finished that off, so I think that was actually 2 of them spinning on that. Interesting. They opt to go with the attack speed here on round 2. I mean, with a 523 time, you are open to a lot of different possibilities you want to take with your points. Let's see if it oh. Now I see. They're Shredder bugged. That's why they did it. That makes a lot more sense. Okay. So they're going to have to have, they're going to have a Stinger class here, which it looks like Dirt has opted to go Hawker for them. That's probably the smart play, too. Dirt's got some good Hawker experience from the past, and many, many pub games. And right now, Big Steve is just pounding on the Doc, who was hawked there the entirety of that hawk. No one able to set her free. Taking some trauma there, able to heal herself with a med kit though, so that's going to be mostly a full heal. Dirt's Hawk manages to get intercepted by that telephone pole, but these tall boys are going to have to do some work, so that attack speed does make sense. Tall boys go in, another Hawk. Reg is getting just free swings right now on it, on that Walker who goes down to yellow. Addicted's back up, getting some puke. Somehow manages to puke the Hawker? I don't even know. There's like one tiny little puddle there. I mean, the rest of it's around the survivors where it should be. I don't know where that one little puddle on the Hawker came from. That's kind of funny. Okay, there's a little bit more. Okay, I see now. I see now. There's a little bit more on the fence. But anyways, that hawk doesn't manage to hit its mark. Reg goes back in. Looks like pick on Walker is going to be the play here. That's definitely going to be the play. Unfortunately, Reg does go down as soon as the hawk goes in, but that hawk lands him an acid, which does secure the down. That is 1 down on Walker, I'm pretty sure. I don't think it's 2. I don't think I missed another down yet. I'm pretty sure that's just the 1, so. Hawker does manage to interrupt the dock res there, though, for a second. It's not that these spawn timers are going to allow them to capitalize on any of that right now, but it just goes to helping infuriate the team, which, by the way, another hawk on Walker will definitely, certainly do just that. They do manage to get him free and take care of the Reg Tallboy there, but we'll see how this goes when the commons start getting more into it. So far, these hawks on the Walker they're working. I'm surprised that they haven't even attempted to take out this hawker yet. Anybody pinning? What is he? Was that a Molotov? I don't know what was just thrown at the hawker. Something was thrown at it, but I don't know what it was. Walker does have a 249. Whoever that is, if they have large caliber rounds in their deck, they could take this hawker out almost at any time when you hop up on a truck, but right now he's got a tall boy in his face, so a little bit more of a priority. Addicted's going to go in. Looks like Addicted's going to start playing Wretch a little more aggressive here since there is no Shredder. It's probably the play, to be honest. Keeping everyone bathing in acid is great, but at the same time, when only 2 tall boys are going in, they're just getting lit up, so the damage isn't quite as high. They miss another Molotov on the Hawker. Goes whizzing by, and in return, the Hawker misses a Hawk on the Walker. Addix is going back in with a charge, does manage to smack and get a bonk on the Walker. This Hawk gets blocked by the Wretch Explosion, and that's going to be a down on Doc. Quick pickup by the Mom. Source gets hawked after that. Quick punch out will free him, and we go to wave 3 in a moment. Honestly, this is going to be where they're going to have to try to take it. When these common come in, if they can distract them long enough that they get in and do a lot of damage, there could be some hope for it. But anyways, that's another down now on Doc. Reg manages to get it while securing his life. He's at half health. He allows the res to get another hit when Doc gets up. I think that's 3 downs on Doc. Hawk in the Swarm. Quickly freed. That Walker M249 is starting to do some damage. New guy on new guy action right there. Big Steve gets obliterated by that 249 in the hands of Alt Crisis. Hawker's going to go back up for a reset. In fact, the entire team's going to reset here. Tall boys are ready. Hawker's ready. Wretch is ready. And here we go. Hawk gets the Hawk on Walker, but it does cost him his life. But the Wretch is going to go bowling in and pretty much secure a down on at least the Walker, which does happen. Reg and the 2 tall boys are in there. 1 grenade misses. That grenade did no damage to either of the tall boys. That one did, but not the bruiser. It only got the regular tall boy. They do manage to get the quick res with the smelling salts while the Wretch goes bowling back in. Another explosion on the Mom. I don't think it quite reached the Walker, but now the Hawker's going to go ahead and take what he can get, which is a Hawk on Doc. Almost put him down in a wave of common, if not for that punch by Mom. Reg is back in, going after the Walker this time. I feel like they definitely should have been still targeting the Doc. I think Doc might be last life or 1 from it. But oh, this is in the Swarm. This is going to be bad. That Hawk is still in the Swarm. They had to use a nade there. Another nade comes in. But they are going to be hurt here. And they're going to have quick respawn timers. This Hawk is going to stop that res. And they are in Swarm. This could actually be it here, even without a Shredder. She's going to have to try to go for these res, but can't get it because of the pus handling slow. And she is now bogged by both tall boys and the Wretch in Swarm. That is it. Rough, rough, rough. That Swarm cost them everything there at the end. Almost making that 5-minute mark, though. 4:55. Good game, good game.